So as far as potential candidates, I mean, I'm the one that's
yeah, you're the recruiter.
Bring these folks in.
Yeah,
so,
where are they?
Yeah.
I mean, are they doing
where do they?
yeah.
Where do they live? What kind of do they already need to have some of those soft skills? Are you looking for specific technologies? Like what's kind of like the ideal candidate for us?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'll say most of our work is in kind of the Baltimore, DC area.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to work in Seattle, Red Alpha probably not the right fit for you. So that's kind of one of the geographic restrictions. We don't, we do a little bit of remote work, but most people need to be here in here in the DC area. And past that, I think what we're really looking for are people who are willing to learn, willing to listen, and I think most importantly, leave their egos at the door, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's something that's important to us. We don't have a lot of time to deal with people with big egos and who need a lot of hand holding, whatever. We will show up at 6 in the morning or 10 o'clock at night if we need to for our junior data scientists, but what we won't do is indulge this kind of like I'm the center of the universe sort of attitude. And I'll say in large part, we never had to deal with that. But that's the thing that will, if we sense even a hint of that, we will just move on to the next person. Because there's a lot of smart people out there, and you do a good job of finding them, and we know we're going to find them. So I think that's the thing that will kind of get you ruled out. Now past that, yeah, I mean the usual stuff. We're looking for good grades. We want you to have done at least a little bit of computer science stuff, probably Python or R preferably. It doesn't have to be. If you're a Java person, well, fine, you can learn Python pretty easily, right? On the math side, we really want you to have at least some you don't have to, but we'd love for you to have some stats and linear algebra. I think that's all important. I think just having a genuine kind of like intellectual curiosity and love to play with data. If you're screwing around with some stock market data in your spare time or something like that, that's along the lines of what we're looking for.
So as far as the degree itself, though, I mean, is it, and maybe it's subjective. I mean, is it better to have like a computer science degree for someone that understands like statistics and analysis, or is it better to be like more on the data science and the mathematics?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. It's case by case basis. So, I'll give you an example. Mathematicians, especially mathematicians with PhDs, are usually great writers. Mm-hmm. Okay, they also get hung up on little details in projects that don't matter, and the project kind of like hang on. Clients tell us this all the time, right, about PhD mathematicians who don't work for us. Because we make sure our people to do that. So, but the, computer scientists, on the other hand, I mean, some of the worst writers I know are computer scientists. Even though they write great code, they're not great writers. But they know how to get past, they know how to move past like things that they really need to ignore. And they're really good at that. They're really good at just like kind of getting things done. So each person has a different, and that's a huge generalization, right? I mean, so nobody be too offended by me saying that. But, people come in as individuals. We treat them that way. If you're a PhD in math and you're not a great writer, then, we'll help you get to be a better writer.
Yeah, it's
right?
one of the soft skills you can learn.
Yeah, exactly. And we know that people just, they have a lot to work on, right? I have a lot to work on. Brian has a lot to work on. You're never done, and that's kind of the point. So we're just, I'd say mainly that intellectual curiosity is the big thing, and leaving your ego at the door. Those are the big things. Past that, you wouldn't even have to have a degree in math or computer science, honestly. I mean, I think most of our data scientists will come from that background, but we definitely don't like chuck a resume if it doesn't say computer science or math.